Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm actually going to create a sticker pack similar to what you guys are seeing here on this Redbubble store. A little FYI is that I reviewed this Redbubble store yesterday. Technically it's today, but I posted that video yesterday, and now I'm posting this new video. And I wanted to get creative. I thought, can I create my own sticker packs, right, that are kind of similar, maybe kind of do similar things. And with Canva, it's relatively easy, but I do want to test some things. I have this app here called Luminar Neo. I'll leave a link in the description and in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. And it has this function where I can edit the colors of images. So to put things into consideration, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So here I have a character, right? And I know this has nothing to do with sticker packs. Just bear with me so I can show you what I'm talking about. If I go over here to edit and I click develop and then I play with the colors here, I can actually edit certain colors. So for example, I just take this tint all the way to the left and it changes it. I could go over here to the right or go over here to the left again, and now it changes the image. The image was once looked like this, or better yet, I'll just kind of show you a before and after, right? It looked like this, and now it looks like this, right? So I can change colors, and I got this idea by changing colors because I know it works. I've done it before, and in fact, one of the best Redbubble pieces of advice that I gave to people is just, if you have a design that's working and it's making you money and it's creating sales, go ahead, do some research on that niche and create a few more designs similar to it. Just change up certain things like small little colors or small little details that can make it slightly different to where you'll be ranking for the same keywords. But when the viewer or the customer does that Redbubble search and then sees those extra options, they could potentially purchase from you. So when I got this idea, right, about changing colors and things, I thought this could work for even these characters that I create here, right? So I can create all kinds of different, color patterns and color looks, and I can use these images and save them separately as elements. Well, if I could do that with these characters, can I do the same thing with these type of patterns, right? And by the way, this was a t-shirt that I had created live on YouTube. I'll just go ahead and show it to you. It was this video right here. If you happen to want to see how I did it, I'll leave a link in the description. But with that being said, that is a perfect example of just kind of my creativity ticking for me for a second. So I said, okay, taking a look at these sticker packs, right, and these different colors and these different variations. I mean, you could see here, for example, this all black alphabet. Then we have this pink one, and I'm sure they have it in different colors. It's kind of interesting. In fact, this one is like all hearts, right? And then there's more heart packages. So it's interesting. It's like, okay, can I potentially make some cool changes, make some things happen where I can essentially, make money off of changing small variations in images while creating a sticker pack. So I'm going to test that. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to make all of these black. Now, I know that might sound weird for a second, like why would you make all of the hearts black? And I'll kind of explain in just a second. So I have a strategy where I can take an image like this, right, and turn it into a colorful image. And I featured it in my last video, but I put it in my Blend Designs mini course. So I'll put it up here, products, scroll down. This is it, right? And instead of me, in order for this strategy to work, I have to use black. But if you see here, it's like I have this strategy where I can take an image and blend it in with another image, kind of looking like a vector, even though this is not a vector, it's just a regular PNG. I can make it into this, right? Same thing with this image, right? So I could take this pattern, slap it onto something like this, and it will look like this. Or I can take this wolf, make it all black, and then apply this marble kind of texture to it, and it will look like this. Well, I can do that for a little bit more simpler, like pattern type things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to create my own sticker pattern real quick and kind of show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to do a mix of sizes, so they're not all necessarily the same size, right? So I have this and this, okay? And I'm going to make this black as well. So every single thing here is black in order for my strategy to work. And what I'm actually thinking of doing is, first of all, let me copy this out here, okay? And I think it is a little bit clever to come up with these different sizes for the hearts, because maybe, you know, that's what an end customer can benefit off of, using different kind of things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my gradients folder on Canva, right? So I created these different folders to help me organize stuff. So if I'm like creating a YouTube thumbnail and I want to show some of my sales, I could show that. You know, if I need to create a gradient or something, I already have that. You know, things like that. And I'm thinking, like, I like this rainbow style gradient. It's not necessarily politically motivated. I just like the rainbow color. Okay, so that's a little FYI for you guys if you see me use rainbow a lot. But anyways, I'm gonna go over here and download it. I already uploaded this before. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to download this, right? So I'm going to download this. And what I'm going to do is really quick, I'm going to apply my strategy and I'm going to apply this rainbow style gradient to a piece, just simply a piece of the image. So I'm going to go over here and hit download. I'm going to hit transparent, hit download as well. And I'm going to download it. So I'll be right back really quickly. All right, guys. So I just completed the transformation where I blended it in. And it only took me like a second to do. And you can see kind of how it looks now. I actually told you guys I was only going to do it for a piece of the image. But I actually like it like this instead. But you kind of see what I'm doing here is that I created a sticker pack involving these blends of colors for Redbubble. Now, I think this is actually kind of cool. You could potentially use this for more than just stickers. I know in my last video, I said, you know, the creator of this store is clearly trying to bank off of stickers the most because that's what they're picking for that style photos, like this grid kind of style of just these images. That's what they're banking on for their sales because that's what they're using as their default. And logically, you would want to apply the product where it fits most for its default setting, its default view. You guys know when you create the product, you can select that preview of what you want it to be when people search for it. And this person picked stickers, and you could see how many variations they created. I mean, you could see when I just click on this star one, even though they use black and pink, you could see they have black here. They have like a colorful kind of approach, a red, a blue, a purple, maybe a yellow, something like that. So, and there's a bunch of them. But something that I did that makes things a little bit different is, like I said, is I'm going with a different approach, right? I can use gradients. Now, I could do more than just gradients, right? I can technically pick any kind of image I want. I don't have to use gradients. I can search for textures as well. So if I go over here and I search for like texture, maybe, I mean, it would be kind of hard to apply something like this, but imagine you create like a marble texture or yeah, something like this. Imagine like something marble, a marble look to these hearts. You can make that happen. Now, once again, you have to have the background kind of transparent so that it can show up as stickers in the product line for Redbubble. So you could almost like the customer's getting a package of them. And the cool thing is that when you have the ability to apply these different colors to them, and these different styles and things like that, you can add one layer to your marketing. So what I mean when I say marketing, obviously you have internal, you have SEO, and you have SEM. So SEM is what you're doing off-site that's going to be paid for, typically. And SEO is the internal, right? So in terms of the internal, right, we have titles and tags. Imagine if I took something like this plaid style, right, and used something like this and marketed it for Christmas or something like that. Now, you have to be creative as to how you do it. So, for example, if I have a blog, which I really need to make a full series, actually. I was going to say a few episodes, but I need to make a full series on how to create a blog for your print on demand. And whether it be Redbubble or whether it be your own site or whether it be Etsy, it doesn't matter, how to take that and turn it into sales. And that's really, really big. Like blogs, although they take more work, right, they can really, really help your sales dramatically. But I'm saying, imagine this kind of style. So if you want to imagine that, I'm going to actually create this right here, right now. All right, so I just got done creating them. And I'll kind of tell you about the challenges that I ran into. So you could kind of see here in real time how I created these. Now, they didn't take long to create. This one took a little bit longer just because the colors. And what I realized was I had to create this because of the specific pattern, right? Like if I click on the image, it's actually like this big, right? So because of the pattern, the black blocks are just so big, it doesn't look right on the actual image. So I had to create like a bunch of these smaller ones, right? And download it at a much bigger size. But nonetheless, you can kind of see here what I've came out with. So I have this, right? And this was a lighter colored one, so it kind of worked out great. And this was one of the plaid type of patterns on Canva, and I just applied it to the image, and it looked perfectly fine. It's just a little bit lighter, which kind of gives it a little more working room to, kind of make mistakes and make it not look as good, but it still looks pretty decent. And just as like a little FYI, my personal favorite out of all these probably be these colors, but that's because I just like the rainbow color scheme. But I think it depends on the customer, because every customer is a little bit different, right? Like just because one customer will purchase one design that you might have doesn't mean that they don't like the other thing, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's okay to provide different resources and different colors for customers, even if you're not necessarily enjoying it, to put it bluntly, because the one thing that I learned, especially with Redbubble, and Redbubble makes this lesson very clear to me, is like just because I wouldn't buy something doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else would, right? Wouldn't, excuse me. So everybody has different preferences. Like somebody might look at these and say, you know what, I really don't like this style. I like this style better, or whatever the case may be. And the cool thing about that is honestly, like because of the different options out there, theoretically, you could just create a store with just a million different variations of one thing if you really wanted to. I'm not sitting here saying that it will be the most profitable in the world. Will you make money? Absolutely. But I think it's going to create a consistent drip feed of income. And that's kind of one of the things that I mentioned in yesterday's video when I was reviewing this store, is that this store by no means is like one of those stores where, it's going to be one of the highest earning stores on Redbubble, but it's also not going to be the lowest, because it definitely will generate income, because there's so many, this is an SEO play, right? And for those who kind of want me to explain that, when I say an SEO play, what it is like if somebody's searching, for example, pink alphabet sticker pack, right? There's a good chance this is going to emerge. And whether it be on Google, whether it be on Redbubble, it's going to show up just from an SEO standpoint, because the competition is generally lower for something like that. Like if I could even just search here, pink alphabet. Did I spell alphabet right? Alphabet here. My bad, guys. Alphabet sticker pack, something like that. Like if I'm putting myself in the consumer shoes, guess what? Their results is the first one. And there's 252 results. Now, once again, that's really not that much. And are people searching for this every single day? No, obviously not. But you can still generate profit. Now, if you put yourself in the seller's shoes, this person has over 1,200 of these kind of searchable based designs. And they're pretty good. There's nothing really bad about them. There's nothing unattractive about them. And they're really not hard to create by any means, any stretch of the imagination. You guys just saw me create like a whole bunch of different variations of one. And it's pretty simple. So when it comes down to this, in terms of making stickers for Redbubble, you can absolutely do it, because there's so much opportunity to create variation, right, for something like this. And this is just one design. Like if I just kept this one design, theoretically, like if I really, really, really wanted to, I can make a million different variations with the colors, with the, gradients, with the patterns. There's so many things I could do. It's just a matter of being creative. So I think, should somebody do this? I think they should. When you think of it from a sales perspective, you have to audit, what your desire is when it comes to Redbubble. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, what they want is they want, let's say, a sort of outcome where they're making quick money or fast money. One of these stores is not necessarily fast money, but it's consistent money. Like you could almost predict how much you're going to make a month depending on how many of your designs. And also, niche makes a huge difference. Like we spoke about this in the course, but when you're picking a certain niche, right? That niche is determined by the market. And when I say, or excuse me, that niche demand is determined by the market. So for example, if you're doing like the alphabet one or the stars one, like I could picture a teacher like who's like an elementary school teacher, where they put like stars on the tests if the kids get like good grades. I could picture that selling during like school seasons, right? So maybe before school starts, maybe the kind of sales for this kind of stuff will go upward because there'll be more demand for it. And that's what I mean about niche. Niche can dictate demand, right, for certain designs because it all depends on how much desire or how much somebody's going to want something, right, because of that time of the year. And holiday or events or something like that can really trigger different sales. I mean, you look at Valentine's Day, that's going to trigger a lot of the sales of the heart kind of stuff, right? And maybe the whole year you might not get sales for the hearts. Maybe every now and again you might, but maybe the most is during the Valentine's Day or the birthday events. So it's not necessarily something that's bad, but it's something calculated. And when you create an SEO store like this, where you're focused on making money from an SEO standpoint, there's nothing wrong with making a calculated decision, even if you know that that decision is going to generate you less sales than a general niche concept. And this is a niche in its own. Like when you're uploading these stickers and you're creating those kind of stuff here, it is its own niche, and it has its own market. And for sure, you'll get sales. At the end of the day, it's better to be more specific than it is to be more general. And even though it might result in less sales, it's going to result in a more guarantee of sales to begin with. There's a lot of people who post great art, but because they're not reaching customers, they're never seen, they're never making money, which is one of the problems that I spoke about when it comes down to Redbubble. You can only have two problems. You're either having a desire problem or you're having a vision problem. Like people are not even seeing you, right? So it's either people are seeing you and they don't like what they see or they don't want what they see, or they're not seeing you to begin with. You're invisible to them. So it's either one of those two problems, and either way, they're completely solvable. All right, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was informative and entertaining. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll leave some links in the description box down below, resources that could potentially help you with your Redbubble journey. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.